Hi, welcome to Universal in Tears. I'm Leslie Ingelstead, and today I get to share once again. And the word that came to me, it's a new year, it's January, and a lot of things outside keep us warm inside. And it's one of those deals that I think about the whole season. Sometimes I think about what it does. You know, we have the beautiful summer lakeside, and then fall, everybody can kind of cuddle up and cozy, start thinking about it. But here it is, smack dab, cold January. And what do we do with days like this? Well, I hope, and I want to encourage you, just pick up a good book. But there's nothing better than the book. And a lot of times I'll share different words that I have read from authors and different subjects. And the last couple of days I've been in the book of Psalms. I read a little New Testament or Old Testament, and then I also get to read a little Proverbs and Psalms, because the whole recipe is just something that I think most people need. The book holds answers to every little question or big question that you might have. But one of those great promises that the Bible talks about is having new mercies every day. Here it is, beginning of the year. So guess what? New, right? New beginnings, new choices. But sometimes I get a little bit sad because I think people have all these things and they're so hard on themselves. I got to stick to it, and which is good to have discipline. But at the same time, if they blow it or if they're tough on something, that they forget, hey, brand new day, brand new beginning, really. So the mercy is the word that kept coming back to me that I want to share a little bit with. We don't quite understand, I don't think, here on earth what mercy really is. It's not getting something that we deserve. And sometimes we plead for mercy from somebody that you've done something wrong to or have been wronged, and hopefully they are aware of it and they plead mercy to you. Sometimes we don't, we can just, my girlfriend and I are just speaking of our beautiful football team that we have adored for most of the year. We have to plead mercy for those Vikings and tough things that happen along the way each and every day. But I just want to tell you that I think so often that God has it so much in our lives, in our patterns, in our families that surround us, or our works that surround us, that we are going to have tough stuff that happen, things that cause frustration, things that we get tough on ourselves, the guilts and the shames. But if you could recall one thing today, I just really hope you'd get the idea of mercy. It's not that you're going to not be mad or sad and have reasons to, for that matter. But if you ever go hang out at all in different inspirational books, or I don't know what, maybe it's a TV show or something that makes you laugh, that's all great. Makes you think, that's terrific. But again, if you pick up the Bible, it's meant to be pretty simple for us. It really is. Tons in there. But the simplicity of the word is amazing to me. It always has been for about 36 years now. And I have never ceased to find just what I need. In the middle of it, if you pick up a Bible, Paul's usually open to the books of Psalms. Psalms simply means songs. A few different authors are there writing it, Holy Spirit directing them. But in there I came across Psalm 77. I didn't know so well at the time. There's a few of them that stick out. Favorite place, Psalm 37. A promise there, delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart. I claim that one a lot. But there is here in Psalm 77 where it's a fellow named Asaph, a psalm of Asaph. And he cries out, he said, I'm calling out, God, I'm in deep trouble here. What are you doing? Basically, he's just really crying out in a little bit, no, not little, actually a lot. He's really bummed. He doesn't believe God's listening, caring, being a part of him at all. He's like, I'm so distressed I can't even pray. You know what? That could be us today, or that could have been us yesterday. We have these things that come across our plate, you know, and our day-to-day, and something just takes us down and holds us down. Well, like I said, the Psalm 77, as I was reading in it, and kind of goes through it, and he talks about not being able to sleep or going back to, I remember the good old days. It used to be like this, and now I'm this, you know? That's probably a word that you uttered, maybe just recently. I know I did. I don't get some of the things that come across our family or our friends, or myself for that matter. But I keep on reading, and a lot of great things about Psalm. A lot of them you think about David writing. But this particular fellow, Asaph, is going through this psalm, and he kind of just, but then what would we do without you? yeah, he's feeling distressed and kind of angry. But then he stops and looks around, and it talks about creation. He said, the clouds pour out rain, the thunder crackles in the sky, and lightning lights up our world. The earth shakes. The road leads through the sea. The waters are there. The flocks of the sheep are in the pasture. So he draws these pictures out for us. What are you going to do with it? You can look at it as, yeah, well, lightning, and that can be stormy. The rain, I don't want that. I mean, there's flooding all over. Sure, there's sad, tough stuff, things that don't go the way that you'd want it, and you don't understand why God would allow that. Well, guess what? God allows things, but he's not causing all the distresses and all those pains and the sufferings. That is not God's way. And that's what makes me really sad. So I want to encourage people when they question me of my faith or question the way of their life right now, just to take some moments, no, more than moments, take a lot of time if you could, and find the answers in the Word. And a lot of people think it's so complicated. It's really not. Like I said, I opened up to Psalms and I came across this. But in Psalm 77, as I was saying, he's kind of like putting his fist up. But then Psalm 78, the same fella talks, and he says, listen to my teacher and open your ears to what I'm saying. He said, he's talking now to God, and he's talking back, and he says, are you going to hide these truths from our children? We need to tell the next generation about the glorious deeds of the Lord. We got to tell them about his might and his power, all the miracles that he did. He commanded our ancestors to teach their children, to teach their children so it could go on generation into the next generation, even to the children that are yet not born, so that they might in turn teach their children. That is because each generation then can set a hope on God to remember all those glorious miracles and obey those commands he has of us. And they won't be like the ancestors of old, those that are stubborn, rebellious, unfaithful, and refuse to give their hearts to God. So there's just a little bit of this recipe that he has in there, and I just found it so interesting because he's the same fella. He's talking about, you're not even paying any attention to me, and then the next thing he turns around and he goes, make sure we pass on, share to the generations the faith of God and what he's done for us. That's a man who's decided with mercy. He's siding on that side. He's going to the area of forget that past. All those yesterdays, sure, they're there to teach us, but if they're holding us, it wipes us out from the joy of today. And it really has to do something in your head. You have to work hard at it. You can't just hold and say the words and just, okay, I'll try to be good today. No, it takes a lot more than trying. It comes down to it. It takes trusting, and trusting in a God that loves us so deeply and wants so much for us. Mercies that are new every morning. That's a promise. Oh my goodness, Leslie Engelstead would not be who she is without mercies that are new every morning. And I tell you what, I sure appreciate hearing from you and different people and their comments and compliments and sharings and encouraging things that they've gotten from some of the shows. I'm just grateful for them. But if you think anything special about me, talk to my husband and son. For that matter, don't talk to them. They'd tell you that I'm not all I'm cracked up to be, perhaps, that I come across. You see, God's got a recipe for each one of us. And he allows us to go through so many things in each and every day, in each and every season for that way, that comes across, again, as I was saying early in the show, if I could send one word with you, I'd be mercy, and the promise that it's new every day. So give each other a break. Give yourself a break. And remember, it's a brand new day, okay? Thanks for joining us on Universal Interiors. I sure take it as a privilege that I get to share. Go make it a great day. Remember, mercy's a gift given. Give it to somebody else. Thanks again. Bye-bye.